Disinformation is not a specialty of our time. In 1835, the North American newspaper, the New York Sun, published exclusive information. They had discovered life on the moon. The objective was to increase the newspaper's sales. They did, but people soon discovered that the headline was a lie. The newspaper had to retract it and suffered from lack of credibility. Lying is human nature. Everyone has lied at one time or another. But what we're going to talk about here today is fake news. And you know why? Because they don't appear to be lying. Their goal is to deceive, to create another reality. You interact with them, you think they might be true, and you get to the point of believing them. We live in a time when many people no longer know what is real, what is fake. Listen to the testimony of Nathalie Castellari, 30, university student.
Oh yes, I have already sent a fake message about the vaccine in a group chat I have with my cousins. One of them alerted me, and I noticed that the message uses this foreign language. Yeah, it was a lie. I got angry. I don't know who to believe anymore.
There are many people who stop believing in everything, and that is even more dangerous. If we understand the world through what we see and hear, then the time has come to sharpen our eyes and rigorously choose the quality of the information we consume, just as we do with food. Stopping lies is everyone's task. Disinformation is a weapon as perverse as it is powerful. It can challenge security systems, companies, schools, countries. But the lies that spread and appeal to the masses did not appear in social networks. Let us now continue our search for stories that will help us understand all of this better. An old journalistic saying goes, "The first casualty of war is the truth." Many wars occurred because not everyone could see the reality of the facts. During World War II, Hitler had a minister named Joseph Goebbels. He was the head of Nazi propaganda, a manufacturer of fake news, responsible for the strategies that made the people obey the Nazis and worship Hitler. Pay attention to what he loved to say.
A lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. Let me control the media, and I will turn any nation into a herd of pigs. We have to make people believe that hunger, thirst, charges are the fault of our opponents, and make our followers repeat it.
At that time, in Germany, radios were sold at a very low price so that the majority of the population could listen to the messages of Nazism. Needless to say, all transmissions were controlled. Many decades later, in 2016, Brunhilde Pomsel, who was Goebbels' personal secretary, gave an interview to the Guardian newspaper. She admitted what one of her duties was.
I modified the statistics, reduced the number of dead soldiers, increased the number of rapes of German women by the enemy. I did not break my silence just to clear my conscience. There is no justice, there is no God, but it's clear that the devil exists.
At present, nothing can serve as a better example than the false information circulating around the planet about the coronavirus pandemic. Everything had been told about the origin of the virus or its non-existence. The virus, according to false news, was created in a laboratory, and as a result, people of Chinese origin have suffered racism. In India, Muslims were beaten, accused of spreading the virus. But there's more. Dozens of sophisticated treatments, medications, and spiritual treatments emerged in this fertile scenario of misinformation. Groups formed on social networks make up the most efficient army for spreading false information. People with the aim of helping transmit the news they receive. Pay attention to this explanation from BBC News, the British TV. What happens if you receive a message and send it to at least 20 people in your address book?
And misinformation can spread fast. If a message is sent to a WhatsApp group of 20, then each of them shares it with 20 other people, and this happens 5 times, it can reach more than 3 million people very quickly. Untruths can take many forms. One of the most common we're seeing is copied and pasted messages being passed around on WhatsApp or in Facebook groups containing bad advice or fake cures. And because these are shared by a friend or trusted source, it's not obvious who wrote these messages in the first place. Often they're attributed to a vague source like a friend's friend who's a doctor, soldier, or works for the government. For example, a voice note has been spreading on WhatsApp. In it, a woman is translating advice from a colleague who has a friend working at a hospital on the Spanish island of Gran Canaria. Some of the tips are helpful, such as washing surfaces thoroughly. But the voice memo includes misleading advice as well. The speaker suggests sunlight neutralizes the virus, and that coronavirus can be killed by taking a sip of warm water every 20 minutes. There is no scientific basis for either of these claims.
Some tips can help you not to consume or transmit useless information. Well, it is useful, but only to harm other people. Before you believe something and forward it, think and reflect.
Pictures taken out of context can also be really misleading. A video from Italy was posted on Twitter showing military vehicles on the streets. There were rumours they were responding to coronavirus riots. In fact, they were returning from routine exercises that had nothing to do with the outbreak. Some of us may share information with our friends as a joke or to lighten their mood. But even if they don't take it seriously, others might. For example, a claim that lions were released in Russia to patrol the streets was taken seriously by some. It was not true. We all want to share news that we think will help others, but before you do, follow these steps. Has the story been reported anywhere else? Is it from a reliable source? Has the photo or image been taken out of context? If you're not sure, then maybe it's fake. And you can stop that information from doing harm by not sharing it any further. If you want to check medical advice, go on the World Health Organization website. And if you feel that a story isn't real, you can always look to a reliable source like the BBC.
We must not forget that children and teenagers are the most vulnerable in this fertile territory of fake news. On the other hand, they are the most frequent users of digital media. As they are in their formative years, they are not always able to identify what is trustworthy and what is not. That is why it's urgent that everyone know how to distinguish what is a lie disguised as news. Autonomy and critical thinking on these digital highways are essential to prevent fake news from spreading like a virus.
We hope this episode has ignited your interest. Become media and information literate anytime, anywhere, even while relaxing. Download more episodes of this podcast series from our website. Find out more about how UNESCO works with governments, individuals, and communities to foster media and information literacy by visiting our website. Download our many resources and get involved in our programs to help bring key media and information literacy competencies to life. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.